Okay, another good road win up in Seattle against the Huskies. Good football team. Washington is. It was really a defensive battle, both sides. I thought both defenses did some good things, but the real key to the game was our defense's ability to take the ball away. We had four takeaways. One was a direct score on the fumble recovery and return, and then we set them up in, I think, two short field situations with a couple of the other takeaways. And so that was really the biggest key in the game. Defensively, we played the run well in addition. I think we gave up just over 100 yards a game, which is about our MO for this season. And special teams was solid. Offense did some good things. Three turnovers though, so that's got something that's got to get remedied. And, you're not going to win a whole lot of games turning the ball over three times unless you can generate a bunch of takeaways with your defense, which we were able to do. That counteracted the turnovers offensively. But overall, it was a good victory. Guys showed a lot of toughness and resiliency, just like last week. It was a close game. Fourth quarter, we finally pulled away there towards the end of the fourth quarter, but it was a competitive game, and our guys hung in there and found another way to win. That's been a recurring theme this year, is every week find a different way to win. So it was good to see.
Can you expand on the injury of Chase Hansen and what that means?
Oh yeah, Chase is out for the season. It's a lower leg injury, and it's a shame. I mean, he played lights out in this game and was really, just phenomenal with his play. And so it's a setback for us, but it's next man up. And Tevin, who was taking some reps at linebacker last week as well, will move back to safety now full time. And he and Jason Thompson will need to step up and pick up the slack there.
Coach, a couple weeks ago after USC game, you mentioned you probably needed to run a little more, and then after the Oregon State game, you mentioned you probably needed to throw a little bit more. After this game, is there anything in particular you think you need to do a little bit more or less?
As far as the balance, I think we're pretty balanced this game. We need to be more productive throwing the football. I still think 2.25 is about our 225 yards is about our number. That when we get to that offensively, we're much better, and so we're not as one-dimensional. So I think we're about 75 yards shy of that this week. But I think we threw. I think it was 20. How many times did we throw? 30, 29, 30, 31. Anyway, 25. Okay. Well, it was better last week. It was less than that. So we're looking for balance, and we weren't as efficient throwing the ball this week either. I think we're down in 50 percentile in completions, which is not good enough. But again, that's probably the best defense we've faced this year. That is either that or USC's, and so it was some tough sledding there for a while.
Arizona's had 3 straight games where they had a 200-yard rushing performance against you. What is it that they do running the ball that makes them difficult for you?
Well, first of all, the O-line play is exceptional. They're very well coached on the offensive line. Rich Rod has got a great grasp of the spread run game, and I think they're second in the league right now in rushing, 200, just over 200 yards a game. Second in the league in total offense, over 500 yards a game. So they do a great job offensively, and really it's the way the zone read is what's hurt us the last several years, and the way their offensive line blocks it. They do a great job. The quarterback reads it exceptionally well, and they've had running backs that are very good in that style of offense.
Arizona's trying to get bowl eligible with only a couple of games left on the schedule. How determined and focused are these going to have to be this weekend to be able to take them down in Arizona?
They've had our number the last 3 years, so there's no chance of us overlooking these guys. We've got to be at our best. They've got us, like I said, 3 years in a row, and they're a team that's very dangerous. I mean, they played USC. They're leading in the fourth quarter against USC last week, and USC ended up pulling away, but we're going to have to play our best football just like every week.
Just circling back to Chase for a second. Does he require surgery? Is there
It's looking like it, but we don't know for sure. There's more determination that's being made today, but we know for sure he's out for the rest of the year, no matter whether it's surgical or non-surgical.
How does this impact his long-term, where he plays, anything like that? Just kind of how does this affect his long-term prognosis?
I don't think it has any impact on that decision, and me and Chase will sit down, and I think last week, I said we're going to let Chase decide. He said we're going to let the coaches decide. So we'll be on the same page. Bottom line is he's going to be on the field somewhere for us next year, and whether it's quarterback or safety or whatever, he's going to be a starter, and we've just got to make the determination in the off season what we're going to focus on with him.
With so many returners on Arizona and Hugh Solomon and Nick Wilson, are you kind of surprised that they're 2-5 in the Pac-12, and this is the defending champions here?
Well, the Pac-12, any week, as I say every single week, any week anybody can beat anybody else, and the margin between winning and losing is razor thin. And they've played some good football. They've just, they didn't play so well against Washington. I mean, that was probably their least productive game of the year. But you just look across the board here, and just about anybody can beat just about anybody else. So that's where we're at.